Hello everyone, this is Anna from Lexington Journals. I hope everybody's well today. I'm here to show you a new journal. It is an antiquarian journal. It's a historian, an archivist, and it's pretty obvious so that it's like that's what the whole point of it was. As you can see, I kind of made it look very much like an old archivist's journal, and it has all these tags on it and notes and things stuck on, looking very random, but at the same time, with a purpose. And it looks like it's been pulled out of some kind of I don't know, a bookcase of a library, or a librarian or a historian or whatever else, a museum, in a museum. So it's a book of records, and it is set, the time is set in the ancient Mesopotamia. And Mesopotamia is an old Greek word, and it means the middle in between two rivers. And that's exactly what it was. And as we know, most civilizations needed to be built near a river in antiquity, or near a forest. And mainly in the north, it was forests and rivers and lakes, and in the south it was mainly rivers, obviously. Mesopotamia is in today's Middle East, and it is near where Iraq is now, present Iraq. And as we know, there are some amazing ancient finds there, ancient, beautiful ancient finds. And well, the Mesopotamia and was parallel, running the more or less their civilization was running parallel to the Egyptian civilization, but they have some peculiarities, some differences from the Egyptian civilization, their civilization, and that makes them, in my eyes, more outstanding. And that is, these things are the script. They invented script writing, and although the Egyptians, of course, used the hieroglyphics, but they also were the first to invent division of time, and division of days and time, and I should think hours as well, and also laws, and as I said, script. So the Babylonians and the Assyrians studied the stars, and they were the inventors of astrology. And astrology was very much practiced back then, especially back then by priests who they would study the stars on the top of these amazing pyramid style buildings, the ziggurats. And we find those in Babylon and in Sumeria. So well, I'm not teaching history here. I'm just giving you an idea of where I've set the journal and what our historian is studying. And so we're in between for the 3000 and we go all the way up to the 600 BC. And another thing that we will see here in the journal is the form of script called cuneiform, which was it was an inspiration for later on for the Phoenician alphabet. And let's see. Well, they were wedge-shaped marks that were on slabs usually, and on stone, and they were created with blunt reed, which was used as a stylus. So anyway, let's have a look at the book. The main points are that, and what I'm going to do with this is that this is the first book in And what I'm going to do after this is another journal, which will be the birth of astrology and what made it move into astronomy. So of course at the time we couldn't have astronomy. There was no, it was because astronomy is a science. And astrology is a contacting with the stars, like spirits, as if they were spirits, and predicting the future through the sky. So it's all very fascinating. And anyway, I don't want you to get tired with me talking. So I'll show you the journal. I think it's already been 5 minutes. And this is the front. This is a hand marbled paper with lots of gold in it, as you can see, beautiful blue and gold. And I thought it goes very well with the brown on the front. And this is some handmade paper, just to start it with, which makes it really soft. This is a poem, The Dawn, and by Alfred Tennyson, and it's one of my favorite poems, because it is dedicated to the history and the dawn of time, and I've named this journal after this poem, Dawn, and yes, because it's all about the dawn of time. And I've added some cuttings, little paragraphs through the journal, just a few, very few, that come from a book, or an old book of mine called The First Civilizations and the Beginning of Archaeology and that time, and it's by Glyn Daniel. And I think it's more like a textbook, but it has a few things here that are quite important in order to understand this period, and also related to the primary source of the Old Testament, which is so much. It has so much to say about this time, this history. So there's a lot of space here to fill in with writing and personal notes. So this could be a very good journal for a student, or somebody who wants to take notes on different things. But of course, it can also be a journal, a writing journal, if one is very attracted to this period, this time of history. And there's these are the ziggurats that I was telling you about. It's the same one from a different point, and that's sort of the tower. What the Tower of Babel was. It was a ziggurat, and there we go. And there's another one here in Ur, and it explains about the way they were built, because it was for the rainy season and all that. So quite interesting. And there's a bit more information in the book of Genesis and how it is related to the other, to all the things that happened in the area. And there's I put some note cards here, and some lovely graph paper. And this is a type of script, the oldest type of script, on limestone, and it's a tablet engraved with a pictographic writing, and it was found in 3500 in Iraq, in today's Iraq, city of Kish, and it could be probably one of the first known evidence of writing, and it's in the Ashmolean Museum at the moment. So you can see the hands and the foot, and so it's quite simple, but it has a story. It has a story there. There's some more here for our researcher, and another one here, and there's just some envelopes and paper pocket, and another pocket which is like loose here, with some more information on the area. So whoever gets this journal and also whoever is watching this video, can read through this and kind of place themselves in the whole setting, and it makes it easier if you're interested in it. It's got about the usual amount of pages. It's 200 and a bit, 200 pages and a bit on both sides. There's a little page mark here. And this is the Tower of Babel. I have used this picture in the other video, the other book I made quite recently, The Historian, which is not very different to this one. But I just thought I would be a little bit more specific here on the Mesopotamia region, and the other one is covers a little bit more of the ancient times, different parts like Egypt, and if I remember well as well. And so this is the Tower of Babel by Peter Bruegel the Elder, 1563, and I think it is a beautiful painting, beautiful. And you can see here up on the top the clouds and how high up it was, how high, and the significance of that. And there we have the cuneiform tablet, and here is the older one, the pictographs. And there are also some seals, Babylonian seals on this side. And this is a map of the area. There we go. I love this map. It looks so old. Okay, on the side pocket here. And I put some butcher's twine up there. And this is from Tim Holt's paper. And these are the Hanging Gardens of Babylonia, it's a painting made, the Hanging Gardens of, of the Semiramis, and it's by H. Waldeck on the turn of the 19th to the 20th century. Okay, this goes in here, and I've got plenty of these transparent sleeves here for all sorts of information to be gathered. And there's another one, and I've actually made a sleeve here because I like this paper so much. I didn't want to sew it on the page and make it disappear the other side. Some graph, and this is another it's also a letter actually, and this was written on a clay tablet, and it was sent by the high priest of Luena to the king of Lagash. It tells the king of his son's death in combat. It could be Lagash. The script is cuneiform, and the date is 2400 BC. So here we get an idea of what cuneiform is, how it looks, and it had so many different characters, but only later on there were only lesser and lesser, and finally in the 19th century linguists managed to read part of these, so they're not that strange anymore. Some parts have been translated and there were less characters on them as well. And there's a statue of King Lagash, and on the other side there's another one. And this is the interior of an Assyrian palace. A drawing. There's another side pocket with a little notebook here, tiny. And there's another map here, side map. And this is a note written by if I'm not mistaken, by an historian. A letter. And there's another Tower of Babel. And that is by Lucas van Valkenbosch, 1594, and it's at the Louvre. And this is a leather. I just made this. I thought it looked nice here. A leather book 1. And this is The Deluge by Gustave Doré, after having a dream about Noah's Ark. It's a beautiful, beautiful work, and this is a map of Abraham Patriarch's life and his movements. And he left from Ur, which was the country of his his forefathers, and it shows his journey to Canaan from Ur, where it all began in a way, the Bible. And there he is here in a painting, and this is his part of his journey. Let's say this is just the picture of his journey on the camels with his family, by Joseph Molnar, 1850. And there's a little bit more, some more information here. And this is the interior of, the palace of Sargon II, 1884. It's a reconstruction, which is the present day Khorsabad, and it was the Assyrian capital. And that's 722 BC, the time that it was set, that it was there. There's another little note card there and a pocket, another side pocket here, and this is Babylon, and this is a woodcut in 1493, the Nuremberg Chronicle depicting the fall of Babylon. Side pocket, and there's another side pocket here with a little note. You could write note, a little tablet there, and there's another Babel, another picture of the Babel tower, and that is probably my favorite, and it's this Tourist Babel from Athanasius Kircher. Amsterdam 1679. I think this is one is remarkable. And there is here part of the story of Ur, the royal standard of Ur, and a statue of the priest of the temple. Pocket and the library card here, empty one, like blank one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't take too much of your time, and this journal is going to be up on Etsy tomorrow evening, and the usual 8 o'clock time, UK time, and the next one that's coming is, just for your information, is going to be the astrology, the birth of astronomy, and that will be our astrology journal, and that's going to be set in the same area, and I'll try and include as much as I can material of the time, well, they'll go as they will be not paired, but they will be relevant. After that, we'll see, but it'll be again another, at some stage we'll move on to a different period. Might be Egypt. I think Egypt would be the obvious thing. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll speak soon. I also made a pre-Raphaelite journal, which is on Instagram at the moment. I've posted just a cover on Instagram, and I will probably do a video before I send it off to the owner. It's an pre-order. But if anybody likes the journal and would like a repeat, not identical as cannot be, but something similar, you can get in touch with me through my email or on Instagram, or leave me a message here on YouTube. So take care to everybody, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.